is Tuesday, July 8th, and I have coffee. And it's time to get in the weeds, everybody. I'm Chairman Lambert. That is SP3. Plenty to talk about here on a Tuesday. We are scheduled to be joined by new MLW star Diego Hill at 11 o'clock. And he's going to join us at he's going to join us at 11. Diego Hill, you saw him at MLW Summer of the Beast. He wrestled Kushida, and after the match, he officially signed with MLW. So Diego Hill at 11 o'clock. We'll see how long we can delay wrestling until 11 when Diego joins us. SP3, how you doing this morning?
We're gonna switch things up. We're gonna talk about wrestling today. Yeah, we gotta bring some variety to this show where we never talk about wrestling. But I am doing well. It's Tuesday. I love to start off my Tuesdays. One with doing work as usual. One with my daughter yelling and screaming because of something, and my son looking at her like, she's crazy. We came out the same womb. Then doing some work, and then talking to Jeremy about wrestling and mostly everything else in the world. So it is a Tuesday. We are here in the weeds for July 8th, 2025. It is all in Texas week. I don't know what Jeremy and Joel talked about yesterday. I'm coming in blind. I only watched the show for like 10 minutes, and Jeremy doesn't remember what he talked about yesterday. So we'll be talking about WWE Monday Night Raw from last night as the go-home show for Evolution, and WWE Saturday Night's main event. Braun Breaker already teasing splitting from Seth Rollins. Yes, this group is teasing dissension before they even have a name. Congratulations, Triple H.
This is Vision.
No. They've never been called. They'd say it in promos, but they never call themselves the Vision. That's why so many people pop when I make tweets and I call them the Seth Riders. Like everyone pops over that. I got it from our chat or True Hill Heat chat, and I've been just riding with the flow because Dangerous Alliance is too many letters. So yeah, the Seth Riders are already teasing dissension before they even have a name. Braun Breaker saved us from a Seth Rollins 20-minute promo where he says absolutely nothing. Thank you, Braun. They dominated last night's Monday Night Raw as they're trying to rehab and firmly establish that group. Meanwhile, the women's division, you got Becky, Bayley, and Lyra doing all the hard work for Evolution and an actual build to that PLE because WWE didn't want to waste any time on any of the other builds. Asuka and Kairi are reunited as Kabuki Warriors. Rhea and Io have a long story 7-year build for a match that was made 2 weeks ago or a week ago. However you do time. So we'll talk about all of that from last night's Monday Night Raw. We'll also talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling because I'm fairly certain that Joel and Jeremy did not talk about that yesterday. So we'll talk about the Soul finale, which had El Desperado defeating Kosei Fujita, and is Gato on summertime crack because he seems to miss the boat on every single one of his young stars, even though it was a great match. I'm annoyed. Ishii.
Go ahead.
Oh, you did?
We did talk about the G1 lineup.
All right, we'll talk about it again because I don't trust Joel. But yes, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Soul Tour finale. No, we're not talking C-Suite. You guys got to wait till Thursdays for that. But you know what to do. The pleasantries, as always. Drop a thumbs up on the video. You want to do your fireworks, Jeremy? Share this video with all your in the weeds and wrestling fans, family, and friends on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Fightful Overbooked YouTube channel, the place of 16,000 subscribers, it took y'all long enough. We were standing on 15.9 for like a few months. Like, took y'all long enough to get us to 16,000. And yes, join the community, which we have a great community as the XP1 has continued, and we are in XP1 Part 2, so we're trying to catch up to the G1 climax. We only have 35 months before we can do that, where I'm sure Zero Hour is saying something stupid to get himself at number 1 again.
Is Zeno Hour here? Because we have the Bryan Alvarez cameo.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Zeno Hour! Now I want you this comic so we can play this thing. We can play the cameo from the great and all powerful Bryan Alvarez. Today is a good day. Today is a great day.
We're not playing it unless Zeno Hour is here. I've not seen him in the chat so far. So if Zeno Hour's not here, we're not going to play it. That's not fair to the person who this is dedicated to.
Nah, that's the rules.
Oh, there he is. Look at.
Oh, baby.
All right, let's down. Okay, it says I can watch it. How do I download it? Now we're gonna get some real audio of me trying to figure out how the hell Cameo works.
You don't know how Cameo works, sir?
I know. No, I've never gotten a Cameo before. I don't know how this works. Yeah.
I've gotten a Cameo before.
I got
it for my missus for one of our anniversaries from Big Ed.
This cameo is 4 minutes and 22 seconds long.
This man's putting in the hard work.
Why is it so long?
He is dedicated to what he does. He takes time with his cameos.
Why is it so long? All right, I've downloaded it. I'm gonna upload it to I'm gonna present it on here. Joel, I see you in the chat. Would you like to be here for this, Joel? Let's see if Joel
wants to really
join. Hey, Joel's part of that. Look at that. He probably didn't even hear me. He just popped in now. There he is. Hello, Joel.
Hi. I need to see this.
Yes, I thought so. Did you hear that it was 4 minutes and 22 seconds long?
Is it actually?
Yeah.
This rules. No, I don't really want to be here for this.
I don't know if there's a cameo ad, so maybe that is part of it.
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so. It's usually the whole duration of time. Big Ed, I think, only gave me 3.5 minutes, so Brian's doing the hard work.
Well worth it for this $10 if it was 4.5 minutes long.
You think you got in on the bit and did some research before?
Oh, I do wonder about that. We're gonna find out. I've not watched this.
This man didn't even want to research cookouts, so I doubt he did research.
Or Hangman, or the Hangman Page promo. So
I thought maybe if we put a cape on and put on the request that he would be spend a little more time talking about it.
All right, folks. This is what you win when you win the XP1 as the top chatter for the month in our YouTube chat. You win a cameo from Bryan Alvarez. Here we go.
For Zeno Hour.
Well, hello, Zeno Hour. It's Bryan Alvarez here. Yeah, Bryan Alvarez is my real name. Very skeptical about Zeno Hour. But I am here because it is a very special day. I heard from the good folks at the ITW. Yes. What is the ITW, you ask? Well, it's the morning wrestling show in the weeds. In the weeds. And they tell me, Zeno Hour, that you were the top commentator on In the Weeds. Is that right? Top commentator. Is that something to be proud of? I mean, that's cool. You won. But being the top commentator to me, Zeno Hour, suggests that on a beautiful day such as today, in early July, the birds are chirping, the sun is shining, there's fucking rabbits hopping all over the place, and you could be outside tanning your bod, but instead, you're commentating in the weeds. Weekend comes, the splash pads are open, kids are running wild, having a good time. There's a farmer's market here, there's a farmer's market there. Folks biking around the river and the lake. And what are you doing, Zeno Hour? You're commenting. Goddamn, the sun goes down, but it's still warm out. Could take a walk around the neighborhood. You could fill your brain with information out of a local newspaper. You could play a crossword puzzle or the spelling bee in the New York Times. And what are you doing, Zeno Hour? Commenting. You're the top weed. I mean, proud of you. It is definitely probably the biggest accomplishment you've ever had in your life. To be the top weed. Fucking goddamn. But the point is, Zeno Hour, it's time, as they say, to stop commenting on In the Weeds and get your ass out in the weeds. Touch some weeds. Smoke some weeds. Do something with your life. Now that you've won this great honor. Feed your cat, for fuck's sake. Anyway, congratulations. All the fellow weeds wish you a great congratulations as well. I hope that the rest of your day is as great as your day has been thus far, and future days as well. And that's it, my friend. Thank you. And I'll talk to you again after a while.
Yeah, next month.
That was incredible.
It's the part where it goes out of sync that makes
it
so
goes
much
out of
better.
sync. And he goes, fucking goddamn it. And like, I think he gets some type of message because he taps his phone. Hold on. I want to run it back to that part. I don't know fully where it is, but
you could fill. You're the top weed. Top weed.
Oh, here it goes.
Fucking goddamn. But the point is, Zeno Hour, it's time, as they say,
Fucking goddamn.
to stop commenting on In the Weeds. And
I love how it opens up with him checking his notes to get the person he's supposed to do the video for. And then he can't stop saying commentating. Commentating. Oh, God. Top weed. Jesus.
Top weed. That needs to be it. That's it. That's what you are. You're the top weed.
The good news is, we just got Bryan Alvarez to sell people on doing the XP program for us. Because Jesus Christ, that was fantastic.
Oh, well worth it. And that's what you win. That's what you win, folks. If you become the top weed in the XP1 at the end of the month.
Amazing.
Bryan Alvarez burying you.
By the way, shout out to farmers markets. They do rule.
Is like a farmer's market there, a farmer's market here? Oh, that was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Also, like, for all we know, Zeno Hour's like outside, you know, on their phone. Just
No, he
hanging
says he
out.
works from home. No, he
Oh,
says
you can do that from outside. I'm about to go outside. It's fine. You can do work anywhere.
Top weed.
Change your
The
name
top
to Top
weed.
Amazing.
That was
Oh, that
great.
was so good. So good. All right, I got to leave Alvarez a review because he deserves
Yes.
that much. That's
Give him 5
Unfortunately, you gotta give him
stars.
5 stars.
Oh, I have to 100% have to give him
I
5
see
stars.
Zarian's in the chat just being like, "What is this? This is not allowed." Oh, Zarian, don't blow our bit. This has to go on for at least 2 more months before he figures it
The
out.
crossover no one ever thought they would see.
He almost certainly has no idea that this is a Fightful thing, which makes it funnier.
No.
He just thinks
He knows it's at least a
the
morning
podcast.
wrestling show. I don't remember if I wrote in there morning wrestling show. I just wrote in the
Zarian,
weeds.
I'm telling Dave. That's fine. Dave will talk about it for hours on his show, and Brian will be like, just completely unaware of what's going on.
Like, Brian, I heard you were on Fightful.
I don't remember this. I was on with Denise a long time ago. But...
How do I leave a review? Why?
Are you on the app or are you on the?
No,
the
I'm
website?
on the website. It doesn't say like.
Maybe if you go into the dashboard where they left the review,
Oh,
or where they left
okay.
the cameo, it might be in there. It's
Great.
amazing.
Okay, orders.
He deserves
Yeah, okay,
every
review.
bit
Okay,
of the 5 stars.
5 stars. That was amazing.
Just like positive 5 stars.
Yeah, turnaround time was great. Video length, authenticity, personalization, audio and video quality. Oh, the audio quality was,
Audio
but
quality,
it made it so much better. Made it so much better.
By the way, shout out to Grays last night who posted in the In the Weeds Discord that Alvarez had tweeted out during Raw.
Yeah.
Some cameos, and I sent it to you guys, and I was like, "Oh, that's the Iggy. We're gonna get our cameo tonight."
That was so good.
Yeah, does this make Alvarez a overbooked contributor?
I'm not paying him.
No, we've already paid him. We've given him the advance.
Once a month he shows up to drop a cameo.
Oh man, that was so good.
I'm gonna get out in a second, but do you want to hit that super chat and then Sean already blew your spot last night, but we can at least tell him.
What, on the super chat?
Well, about what's going on tomorrow.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he blew it on the Ross post show. He just kind of put it out there without any fanfare.
Oh, nobody watches that, so
Yeah,
hopefully
exactly.
no one knows.
No one figured it out.
Okay.
Anyway, should we hit the super chat? You got your finger on the button?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna get out of here. Vala sent a super chat saying, "Vanilla Fumble
I'm vanilla, baby.
is what we call when I super chat every day and still don't win top weed."
Top weed.
You're my top weed, Vala. You're always my top weed.
I'm not saying, nobody in the chat's saying anything, so.
No, I don't think anyone in our chat really listens to Sean, which I understand completely, given our chat. But you wanna tell them what's going on, Jeremy?
I don't, because I get worried about these things.
Fine.
That it's gonna fall through.
Listen,
All right.
these people are everywhere this week. Literally everywhere.
All right, folks. Tomorrow at 11, we are scheduled to be joined by
I'm vanilla, baby.
Blake Christian. Blake
It's
Christian
happening.
is scheduled to join us tomorrow at 11. I'm super worried that it won't happen. Super worried that it's going to fall through. But Blake agreed to it, ran it by AEW. They were good with it. Fingers crossed.
They saw that I finally dropped that interview that I was supposed to drop. Now it's good. Now we're good. Get in there. Yeah, take that, TNA. Although I am going to ask Blake about the time he was in Ultimate X. So we got that going on. There will be one TNA question tomorrow.
Fingers crossed it actually happens, because I always get worried about these things. I wasn't going to promote it at all because I was so worried about it.
I was working on the thumbnail last night. I happened to turn Sean's show on, and he said, well, Blake Christian's going to be on In the Weeds. I'm just like, oh, you blew the spot. And then I just, I didn't see anyone in the chat react. I was like, well, none of our listeners are in your post show, so we're okay.
I'm always worried about these things. You know that, Joel. I'm always
I get
worried
it.
about this
I
stuff.
do.
All right.
He's saying just talk about his time at GCW. Well, you know what? We'll have plenty to talk about. Hopefully tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, talking to Blake Christian. That's the plan. AEW stars are everywhere this week. It's kind of ridiculous. Adam Cole just did Grapsody yesterday, or they're going to drop the video today. So check that out. I think Kevin Knight is going to sit down with Sean Ross Sapp this week. There's so much stuff. So go check that out. I'm out of here. I'm going to let SP3 and Jeremy do the thing. SP3, I'm spot on with my New Japan reporting. I promise you. Everything I said about New Japan Pro Wrestling is 100% what I got.
Did you bury Gato?
Who?
Exactly. You didn't do your job. Bye, Joel. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Oh my God, that Alvarez cameo was so good.
That was the stuff of a legend.
That was
one of the greatest moments in this show's history.
All right, folks. Are we talking about wrestling now? SP3? Is that what? Well, hold on. The trade that went down yesterday. Norman Powell to the Heat. John Collins to the Clippers. That do anything for you?
I'm not moved. I'm not moved.
Okay. All right.
I'm not moved. I did get a lot of feedback from last Tuesday's show. Top Guy JJ actually watched it, and he was commentating on it. I've had a couple of my friends who watched it because everybody wanted to talk about our decisions on who's the GOAT for every team.
Oh, okay. What did JJ say?
JJ said he found it hilarious that we picked a Nets GOAT that's never played in Brooklyn. And he agreed with us with Shea because he's also a Oklahoma City Thunder fan. So he agreed with us with Shea. He said New Orleans, we had to pick from a whole bunch of bums and two great players. So yeah, it was cool. It's cool to get feedback from a whole bunch of people, and shout outs to everybody who's sent me some feedback from my appearance on Wrestle Things. That had a good time with the fellas last week. Been getting some feedback when the show dropped on Friday, so good stuff. But as far as the NBA goes, I mean, I'm still trying to formulate my thoughts on how I feel about my Los Angeles Lakers and the dominating project. We'll see what the reclamation project is looking like. I already put out a post that was retweeted by one of the famous pro Laker accounts on Twitter, Pettiest Laker Fan. He retweeted me because he had a post which was I think it was King the Conqueror dancing, and he was like, this is me after complaining about the Laker front office moves every October, and I was like, this is me come October, sermons are back in session, and he retweeted that. So shout out to Pettiest Laker Fan, because he knows the struggle of being a Laker fan, where we crap on our front office decisions, and then by October we're already saying that the Lakers are going to make it far in the playoffs. He knows the struggle.
Ayton and Jackson Hayes is something.
It's something. It definitely is something. We still have time to make trades. Hey, trades happen late in the off season last year. Maybe it'll happen for us. God willing, they do that. But besides the point, I like what how Bronny's been looking in Summer League. I know Summer League never usually has like a 30% chance of translating into the regular season, but I think he's improved. I think he's improved from what I've seen from Summer League. I think he's improved. He can be a contributor for this team next year. Fingers crossed. That's all I gotta say. Fingers crossed.
Bronny played pretty well in Summer League. We'll see how that translates to the NBA. I can't get over Ayton and Jackson Hayes as your top centers.
Hey, he's gonna be catching lobs. Ayton's gonna be putting up a double-double.
He always gets a double-double. That doesn't mean anything.
Double-double. Hey, double-double, that's something that none of our centers was doing last season. JJ Redick didn't even want to look at Jackson Hayes in the playoffs.
And then they brought him back.
Yeah, he's going to play 15 minutes. The 15 minutes that he was playing last season, he's going to play that this season. And now we got dominating.
He might not look at Ayton with with defense, with the defense that he's going to play.
Well, Luka slimmed down. We'll see what LeBron's coming in refocused. Hopefully LeBron, he has a good first half of the season, and then he requests his trade, and we can get Jared Allen and Darius Garland from the Cleveland Cavaliers, so LeBron can go back home.
Okay, all right. I don't know if that trade's gonna happen. I don't know if that's gonna.
Probably not, but it's hopefully it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, I like I see the vision there. I like the Norman Powell to Miami deal, by the way. I think that's a good move for Miami. Still need a point guard. I don't have a point guard. I don't trust Tyler Hero as the point guard. He's better off ball. Well, he did a little bit better as a playmaker and on ball this past year, but I still think they need a true point guard. Norman Powell's a bucket though. He's gonna score.
Yeah.
And John Collins with the Clippers, like,
they got another big.
I don't fully love that for them. I think they kind of needed Norman Powell a little bit more, because if Kawhi gets hurt and misses time, which history says he will probably miss time, they need guys who can score. John Collins isn't a guy that's going to score on his own like Norman Powell did. So, I like it for the Clippers, don't love it. I really like it for Miami, and Utah just got their tanking, so good on them.
The tank job is in process.
Yeah.
It's in process. So.
All right. That was the big trade that went through yesterday. Medium-sized trade. Yeah.
Medium. Yeah, I wouldn't say big. Medium.
Yeah. It was the biggest trade in a while. You know, we've been thirsting for some moves here. Now, if the Clippers get Bradley Beal, there's a score to help when Kawhi inevitably misses time. I don't know what Bradley Beal is still a very efficient scorer, still a very good scorer. I think the Phoenix stuff tanked his value because that didn't work. It didn't fit. Defensively, very curious how Beal and Collins fit in defensively on a team that was good defensively throughout the season. You love Ty Lue as a coach. You know, his schemes should be able to maybe mask some weaknesses that they have. I'm very curious how that's going to work with Beal defensively, if he ends up going there.
Yeah, that's a big if. I don't know if Phoenix have the capability to complete that trade for them. I think that's a positive trade for them.
Buyout.
Oh, buyout? Oh, well,
Yeah,
even better.
They're going to buy out Beal.
Yeah. So yeah, there'll be. Where do you? The question is to me is where these kind of veteran point guards who used to be two of the best point guards in the league, where they're going to wind up with Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. That's where I'm wondering right now. I'm wondering where
headphones were beeping.
I'm wondering where Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul going to wind up.
Apollo, yeah, it's. I don't think it's a cell phone interference because my phone's been here the whole time. Everybody, I think my headphones just decided to be screwy. I don't know what it was, but hopefully it's fixed now. Chris Paul said he wanted to be closer to LA, so Clippers are a possibility. We kind of talked about that. Of how does he feel with James Harden after everything ended in Houston the way it did. Phoenix is a possibility. I feel like Chris Paul wants to compete though. Phoenix ain't competing. That's not a team that you look at and it's like, yeah, this is like they didn't make the playoffs last year with a much better team. They didn't make the play-in last year with a much better team. That's not a team that's competing. The Clippers were a 5 seed last year, and that's a team that can compete. So I could see LA if that's where he wants to be closer to home. I know they've talked about Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's a tough one just because if he does want to be closer to LA, why is he going to go to Milwaukee? That could be a situation where it makes sense as like a fit because they need a point guard. It makes sense as competing because the East is kind of open, but it could be an issue where, much like Dame just wasn't happy in Milwaukee, and he didn't like being so far away from his family. He was going through a lot of stuff, and it translated on the court at times. I think Chris Paul can push that aside a little bit more, especially knowing it's his last season, but you still worry about something like that with him there. Russ, I would like to see Russ back on the Nuggets. I think he played well on the Nuggets. I also think that Jokic liked playing with him. I think he brought a different energy to the team. Like, he was good in the Clippers series. He was awful in the Thunder series, which everyone expected him to be. But you don't need him to play as many minutes now because you actually got some competent guys on the bench. So you don't need him to come in and play the minutes he was playing last season. He played well enough. Defensively is where he was actually good and where they could use him. Because defensively, he did well to do one-on-one defense, help defense, and just not getting beat all the time. In the playoffs, he's going to be tough to play because he can't shoot, and teams are just going to dare him to shoot. And that's what you got to live with. You either got to live with it or you don't play him in the playoffs. It's that simple. Or you play him in more sheltered minutes, because that's what's going to happen. Oh, I would like to see him back in Denver. The Kings is where they were talking about a possibility of going. That team just...
They're not going to win.
That team has 2018 energy with Levine, DeRozan, Schroeder. If they're going to get Russ, Sabonis, like... All right, this is a cool 2K team in 2018. This team in 2025 sucks.
Wasn't Sabonis like drafted in like 2019 or 20?
No, Sabonis was a rookie in Russ's MVP season, so no.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. I mean, that team's not going to do anything. It's not going to get to the playoffs. I think that if he was going to if he was going to go to Denver, then he probably would have re-signed with them already. I think it would probably be kind of his second choice because no one else is offering him a good deal. Why he would go back to Denver. So I would love to see Russ back on the Eastern Conference in a team that can actually win. I think that would be interesting. Like Russ on Milwaukee would be something interesting, even though that would be like no jump shooting between him and Giannis. But hey, their attack to the basket and halfback dives would be incredible together with those two. So that would be interesting. As far as CP3, I do want him to stay close to home. So I wouldn't mind him going back to the Clippers, getting his jersey retired with the Clippers, because we talked about last week, I consider him the GOAT of the Clippers. That would make a lot of sense. And I saw Zeno Hour saying that he thinks CP3 to the Lakers. One, we don't want CP3, and two, that's about 15 years too late. Because when we did want him 15 years ago. Man, that Kobe, Dwight, and CP3, Kobe could have got his 6th championship. Come on, man.
I wouldn't mind Chris Paul on the Lakers. Why are you against that?
I'm not against it. I'm saying I don't want it. I'm not against it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not against it. Would I be like, oh man, this is a horrible decision getting CP3? If he can play the amount of games that he played last season, where he played all 82 games, then yeah, great. He's a great backup point guard to have. But do we need him? No, we don't.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, defensively, that's again, Chris Paul's not the defender he once was. But he still has the reputation of a good defender, so he still gets away with a good amount, which is beneficial. Once you get that reputation, like, it doesn't leave you, so it can be beneficial. We'll see. We'll see where Chris Paul ends up going. He did say this will be his last season, so we'll see if he gets a little farewell tour.
And once again, Zeno Hour is wrong, and Jose is right. The Lakers do not need another point guard.
Who are their point guards? LeBron
and Luka. That's all you need. All three of our top players play point guard. That's all the minutes that is going to be out there. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. I think it's a bench role for Chris Paul. It's not bad.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's a possibility for Chris Paul. I want to see Chris Paul. Like, I wanted him in OKC last year. I wanted him at the trade deadline. I wanted him in a potential buyout, and it didn't happen. I think he would have been good on this team and good for this team. We still won anyway, but I still think like he would have solved some of the secondary ball handling issues that creeped up a little bit throughout the playoffs.
Would you accept Russ ring chasing and joining y'all?
Sorry, it's my headphones are beeping again. I'm gonna blame the grass mowers out there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
I'm gonna blame them.
Every time I can tell every time they get close to the house because it sounds like they're in your bedroom.
Yeah, it's very loud. I apologize. Like, would I accept it? Sure. Do I think it's going to happen? Absolutely not. One, we've already got a full roster. We literally have no roster spots to give Russ. So bringing in Russ means trading somebody. And I'm not keen on trading anybody. Two, I don't think he plays on this team. I really don't. Because playing him means taking time away from AJ Mitchell or Nikola Topic. And they don't want to do that. AJ played in meaningful minutes last year. Topic is a guy they're going to use as the secondary ball handler off the bench. So signing Russ means playing them less. And I don't think they want to do that. Three, it seems like him and Shea get along. It seems like it's all good between them. But I don't know what the mood is or what the vibe is. Russ coming in, being the old guard who still has a lot of ties to the city. And Shea being the de facto number one and the guy on this team. Like, does Russ come in and does he concede all of that to Shea? Does he come in and be like, nah, like, this is still kind of my team type of thing? I think Russ is smarter than that. But everywhere he's gone so far, he's been joining a team that's already kind of established. So that hasn't been an issue. I would think it'd be the same thing here, but I could also see where he's like, oh, this is where I have a lot of memories. Why am I not playing more? Like, I just don't know how he fits with this current culture that's been built. Because Russ is a very eccentric person. Chris Paul is a little bit... This is why I would have accepted Chris Paul more than Russ, because Chris Paul is a little more laid back and chill, and I could see him, how he fit with this new team compared to Russ's personality and him fitting with this team. So that's where, like, so would I accept Russ? Yes, of course. If Russ wants to come in, ring chase, fine. I just don't think he's going to play if he does. Because he's not a good shooter. He can attack the basket. He'd probably be good. Like, put him out there with some spacers. Have Hartenstein screening for him. Put Joe, Wiggins, Dub as the other guys. They can all shoot well from three. He'd probably be pretty good. But I just don't know how it fully fits.
Fair. I want to see Russ in a winning situation. So I'm hopeful he can find that spot. Same thing for CP3. Even though I feel, nah, he's got no room to go back to the Spurs even because they got Dylan Harper now. So yeah, that ship has sailed as well. But we'll see what winds up with the two veteran guards, and we'll be here to update you whenever it happens. I think we got to get into some wrestling.
Our pal Collins sends us a super chat. I have no idea what is going on, but hi. Hey, Collins. How you doing? What's going on is we're not talking wrestling.
Hi, Colin.
On this wrestling show.
I know. I made Collins talk about not wrestling on Wrestling Made Me Cry this weekend because she had a headline that talked about Love Island. I was like, Love Island UK is greater than Love Island USA.
We tried watching Love Island USA. Like, I understand how the pacing works. The wife's not a fan of the pacing because
doesn't like it.
Because as you know, SP3, like, it's a show that airs 4 times a week, and like it's simple.
See, y'all got it twisted. I'm up here in the UK. It's 6 times a week.
Oh, but it's not like the highlight stuff. Like, you know, the Netflix series is just, you can condense that down. You just show all the highlights and everything. So it's a lot of just like sitting on the couch and talking. And she's not a fan of all the like, oh, what are they chatting about now? It's just slow moving for her. Like, I understand it. As someone who has watched Big Brother and previous seasons of Love Island, I never made it all the way through Love Island. Like, oh, so it's 6 days a week apparently for this season of USA as well. Yeah, it's a lot.
They got the Love Island UK pacing. This season of Love Island UK has brought me and the missus back into the mix, because it's been full of drama, full of messy people. I'm starting to understand UK lingo a lot more. UK Love Island UK lingo. Like, you want to go for a chat? I want to give you a snog. You're looking like a mug. All this stuff that I never understood before. Now I'm starting to understand. I've realized I've been in the UK way too long. So yeah, this season has some of the messiest people that I've seen in a while. You got Harry, who has basically cheated on every girl he's been with in the villa. You got now his ex is in Casa Amor, an ex that he has a tattoo for after he just got back with Helena, who me and my missus call Hell Nah, because she is probably the messiest girl that's been in Love Island, where she keeps sneaking away with other people's mans into the hideaway, to the point that they call her Hideaway Helena, and that's her friends that are calling her that. There is Yasmin, or as shout out to Mimi on Twitter, Mimi Shells, who calls her Polyposter, because she sits like this. She sits like this all the time. And my missus calls her a fembot because she walks like a robot. So we call her fembot as well. She's been snogging all the guys in the villa, including Harry, when they snuck away to the hideaway. And now she just snogged one of the guys from Casa Amor when he was in there for like 5 minutes. Snog, kiss, make out.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I just like,
you know, this is for the people who don't understand the UK lingo. I'm here to help and translate. So yeah, this season's been a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun we've had watching Love Island since Ekin-Su's season. That's how I knew Ekin-Su, when she was on Traitors.
Okay, all right. Xenoir asking if we read Charlotte Flair's Players Tribune article. I've seen some stuff from it. I've not read the full article, but I've seen some stuff from it. The Players Tribune's article, I have PTSD when any Players Tribune article because of July 4th, 2016. But there's been better articles on that website since then. They're always good, though. They're always pretty open with that stuff. And I know she talked about Tiffany's promo. I know she talked about like the 4 horsewomen and everything. You know, I put in the description about Alexa Bliss talking about her Royal Rumble experience and how that was a last minute thing. Like, you know, despite what people want to say of like, oh, they worked everybody, Alexa confirmed that decision was made 4 a.m. the day of the event. 4 a.m. in the morning, everybody, is when she decided, yeah, guess this is happening. And she had to get on a plane, flew to Cincinnati, got driven into Indy, and then was kept secret until it was time to go. She arrived at the arena at 4 p.m. And the event started, I think, at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And the women's Rumble was the first thing on. Now, she was in the middle of the Rumble. She came out like 19 or something. 19, 20, 21. Somewhere around there. Yeah, okay.
21.
So she came out, a little bit later. But still, she had 2 hours, essentially, to get ready for this thing. And that's when it was decided that she was going to return. Shotzi has said... Shotzi went through the rehearsal. Shotzi thought she was going to be in it. Shotzi was the one who got her spot taken by Alexa. And Alexa was apologetic with everything, but let's not act like this was all part of some grand master plan by WWE to have, oh, we're going to work everybody and Alexa's going to be back. Unless Alexa's working these interviews of, let me lie and say it was 4 a.m. is when I got the call and made all this decision. It's all part of the show, right? It's all part of the show. Even these interviews with the Bella Twins, all part of the show.
Yeah, I thought Alexa came off well during the interview. She's always come off well in all of her interviews. She seems like a very lovely girl, and her admitting all of that was hilarious to me because Triple H is probably like, damn it, I can't take credit for this. Like he can't say it's long-term storytelling that we worked everybody like he always wants it to be, and we can't sit back and just enjoy the show and be fans. Sorry, H. Sorry.
It was a good interview with Alexa, though. Everyone should check it out. And Alexa and Charlotte are going to win the women's tag team titles this weekend by stacking and pinning everybody else in the match. It's going to rule. Nikki Bella
Allies of convenience
Nikki
is what the Alexa fans are calling them.
Oh, that's what they're calling them?
Allies of convenience, yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I don't like that name.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Just call them the fucking queens. All of
the
them.
flair for Bliss.
No, just the fucking queens.
Little Miss Queens.
Little Miss Queens? Alright. I like that one. I can go with that.
LMQ.
Yeah. Alright, I don't mind Little Miss Queens. Nikki Bella's in the Battle Royal. That sucks.
I saw some people being like, oh, no, they did that very well. I was like, okay. All right. I mean, WWE, man, this whole build to Evolution has been hilarious to me. I just find myself laughing at most of this stuff that they just haphazardly put together, and they're like trying to make a quick sandwich that's all discombobulated. It's like Harlem making a Harlem sandwich for me. Like the way they've made the build for Evolution. They don't really know what they're doing, but their intentions as well. It's not even like Harlem, because her intentions are still well to feed me. Their intentions was just to make a dollar, and now they're having this whole situation where it really just feels very haphazardly put together, and it's to the detriment of the entire women's division, which is not fair to them at all.
They set him up to fail, man. And we talked about it yesterday. The build hasn't been good. You piggybacked off of a weekend because you wanted to just try to bury the AEW show. And the biggest detriment, though, I swear, is the Beyonce concert. Half your talent would rather be at the Beyonce concert than wrestling that night.
Yep.
I really think that hurts them the most. Because if the Beyonce concert wasn't there, I think the show would be doing better. It still wouldn't be doing as great as it could if it was running on its own weekend, just because there's already 2 shows running on Saturday in Atlanta, and so now you're asking people to pay for a 3rd show to go to, which again, detriment to your talent. But people have already made plans to go to Beyonce, man. That's the draw of the weekend. And like I said yesterday, Evolution as a concept sounds really good, but you haven't done it in a while, and you have done a good job of making the women on equal footing as the men. So an all women's pay-per-view doesn't hit the same when they've been in prominent storylines. They've main evented shows. And it's like, all right, well, I see these women every week wrestling. I see them on the pay-per-views wrestling. I've seen them in main events. Why is this all women's show supposed to be a big deal to me? And if you're gonna do it, and you need to make it a big deal, and they haven't. It's just it's a pay-per-view with matches that could fit on any other pay-per-view. Like, you could have put some of these matches on Saturday night's main event. You could have put some of these matches, honestly, on a Raw or a SmackDown. It's not a special show. It's only special because you've said it's an all-women show. So that's how you're trying to make this special. But an all-women show isn't quite as special in 2025. And that's a credit to them for the work they've done over the years. But it's also a detriment to the current women when you try to promote this show in this manner and using the tactics that you're using to promote the show regarding placement and why you're doing it.
Yeah. The reason why they're doing it makes it have a feeling like you don't want them to succeed in the goal that they had was to undercut AEW All In, but also you want the best for the woman, and the best for the woman would have been to have Evolution last weekend, which was the original plan, until AEW moved up the time for All In, which made y'all believe that they would move it again to Sunday, and that's why you put it on Sunday for Evolution. And you wanted to basically just oversaturate the whole weekend so you could take all the news articles and all the coverage from wrestling media, and it's all dedicated to WWE. But when I've gone around and asked wrestling media or different wrestling fans, the vibe is just off right now with WWE. And a testament to that is the comment section and the retweets for the TKO schedule that came out yesterday, where they got bombarded. They got jumped. I was like, yo, let him put his hands up. He's already dead. Like, I was like, get dead. Like, I've never seen it like that, where all the comments is just like, oh, it's All In week. Shut up. Oh, you greedy so-and-so. I was like, damn, like, this is even in a higher state than what it was in WrestleMania weekend. And I don't think that this is like the most offensive thing that the TKO regime has done, but it is the one that is getting the most kind of vitriol and anger from the wrestling community. And it's for good reason, because they had no reason to do what they did. They had no reason to do a Great American Bash event that looks so haphazardly put together. And I remember when we were talking before the Great American Bash was announced, and I think it was Joel who was like, "Oh, they're gonna probably put it in State Farm." I was like, "No, they're gonna." I was in the comments. I remember that in the weeds. I was in the comments. I was like, "They're gonna do center stage." And Joel was like, no, they probably want to sell all the tickets. It's like, no, they just want to run a show against All In. And they did, and they announced that it was at center stage. I was like, see, it's not to make money. It's not even to make money. It's literally to counter program AEW with the NXT event specifically. The Saturday night's main event show is selling good. It's almost at a sellout because it's Goldberg's retirement. You're going to have top stars like Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre on that show. They only have 3 matches for that show, by the way, which you might want to get on that. But it seems like another 4 or 5 match show that they're just going to haphazardly put together. Maybe they'll throw a women's match on there, like Julia versus Selena Vega for the U.S. Championship at the last minute. But all of this just feels so haphazardly put together. They only had 2 weeks to build it up coming off of Night of Champions. And they have ran 10 different major shows, whether it be Saturday Night's Main Event or PLEs. 10 major shows in 2 months. That is way too much. That is oversaturation plus 10. That's obesity. That's obesity of shows. This is ridiculous. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to calm the F down. Y'all are winning the race. Y'all are making all the money. You're making record profits. You're the number 1 promotion in professional wrestling. Why do you need to put banana peels on everybody else running behind you? You're turning around and not focusing on your race, and turning around and worrying about number 2 and putting banana peels and shells in front of them. But the shells are basically tripping you over, and you're the one going off course. Stupidness.
Along with trying to cut into the buy rate, which they may or may not accomplish. I don't even know if they will, because Great American Bash is a show that's existing that I don't think people really care about. You know? Like, what are we doing with this Great American Bash lineup? They're trying to cut into the media attention. The problem is, you're helping AEW with the media attention by running all these shows. Because if you're getting media attention and people are looking for wrestling, if they just Google WWE, you're going to get AEW results off of that. Because AEW is also running an event this weekend. And that you got talent being asked about it as well. So you're not actually cutting into the media like you think you are. Because when people are searching for this stuff, they're gonna get AEW results. It's just a baffling move. Like, we understand it, we get it. I don't think it's helping as much as they think it is. Because I think they think it's still the 1980s. And it's just not. It's not.
Yeah.
You can't do this stuff that you did back then because consumption is different. Yeah, sure, you could run a pay-per-view the same way. You can run an event in the 1980s to undercut a different event, to undercut a WCW or NWA event. It worked back then because there were limited options on how you could watch this stuff. There was already limited media on what could be done. And partners were going to be like, oh, this is the bigger show. We want to go with this show. It just doesn't work like that in 2025. Consumption is so different. Media is so different that trying to flood the market with this stuff doesn't actually benefit you the way it did back then. It's more of a detriment, especially if you can't keep up with the shows that you have and you are just throwing together matches randomly. Because fans notice that. Fans pay attention to that. You want to praise your fan base for saying, oh, you know, they look at everything. They love going into the exclusives and seeing all the digital stuff. And they like to, you know, really hunt for the Easter eggs and everything. All right, well, if they're doing that, then that means they're probably pretty online. And that means they probably see the other stuff in other wrestling that's going on. And when you do the stuff that you do in trying to undercut AEW, you bring more attention to them. Because when they're searching for your stuff, they're probably going to stumble upon some AEW stuff. It's a baffling decision. And it makes my job more difficult. And that's the part that I don't like.
Yes, that's the part that I don't like either. I have to do 8 straight days of content just to talk about all these different shows. I'm going to be so tired by the time next Monday comes. So tired.
It's a lot of shows. We got NXT tonight. We got Dynamite tomorrow.
Collision on Thursday.
SmackDown and ROH on Friday.
And don't they think about me? Why won't they think about me, Jeremy? You know I've added CMLL to the lineup now on True Heel Heat. So I have to watch the CMLL show. I have to watch ROH Supercard of Honor and WWE SmackDown all on Friday. And then I'm probably gonna watch the GCW show because I watched GCW this weekend to get tapped in before they head to Dallas. They don't think about me. Why won't they think about me?
They never do. I'm with you. They should be.
Careless.
They should be thinking about you. They should be thinking about all of us. You know.
I agree. Think about Jeremy. He has to write all these pieces for all the major news from all these shows. How many screens do they expect you to have?
I got 4, so.
Oh my God.
I'm okay.
It's way too much. It's way too much.
At least they're not doing an ROH press conference. That's.
Yeah.
They were thinking about me for that.
Yeah.
They were at least thinking about me for that. Because, oh man. If I had to cover an ROH press conference as well, you would not hear the end of it from me.
No.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, I'll be on the back on the main channel for Fightful on Friday, as me and Kate will be reviewing Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor on Friday. No, it's been too long since I hang out. I'm gonna be doing 2 shows with Kate this week, because she's coming on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel tomorrow to preview all the WWE shows: Evolution, Saturday Night's Main Event, and Great American Bash.
That's still unfortunate. All right, folks. You saw him at MLW Summer of the Beast. He is officially signed with Major League Wrestling, presented the contract in the ring by Cesar Duran after his match against Kushida. He is Diego Hill. Diego, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all? Y'all for having me up here.
Doing well. Appreciate you joining us. All right, take us back to MLW Summer of the Beast. What's going through your mind after the match and you see Cesar walk down to the ring with this paper in hand?
You know, at moments where I could say, like, stuff like that happens to you, all I could say was I was speechless, because, you know, I never thought in, like, my professional wrestling years, you know, like, I'm going on 5.5 years now. And expected big companies and, you know, like them, like, take eyes at me, give the opportunity, and then just immediately sign me after I, like, give up offers there. And that's one of the reasons why I always tell my students, or the people that I'm training now, like, every opportunity you get, you gotta, you know, give it your best. Because if you don't, then you never know if you get that chance again. And thankfully, I was given that chance.
And that was your MLW debut, and you're facing Kushida as well.
Right.
So let's go even further back before the contract signing. Like, what's going through your mind when you get the call that, hey, can you make your MLW debut on this day? By the way, you're facing one of the most legendary junior heavyweights ever.
You know, it's funny though, because they never told me I was going to wrestle Kushida. Like, I figured out just like the same way, like, y'all had figured out when they announced it. But, like, my reaction to that was like, holy shit. Like, I'm wrestling a New Japan legend, you know, who's won all over the world, traveled all over the world. And, you know, just me having an opportunity to step in there with him. I can say moments like that, yeah, I was in my head. And I was like, oh, I hope I don't mess up, or I hope I don't make him mad or anything. But, you know, opportunities like that, I was just mind-blowing. And at that time, I was like, okay, I was in my head a lot. But then once it was showtime, I was like, okay, now it's time to fucking go. It's time to humble myself. It's time to show these motherfuckers I'm TV ready. You know what I mean? And that's what I did.
Well, you just mentioned that you train people yourself. So tell us a little bit about that and how that experience compares to kind of you learning how to wrestle and receive your own training. How have you kind of translated that into teaching others?
You know, I teach others that the way that I could say I pretty much wasn't teach. Because when I first started, I had to learn all of it. And it was just moments where I had to make payments just to get my ass kicked. And we all go through those moments. Of course we do. But, you know, I just try to show my students, like, anything can happen. You know, as long as you put your mind, your heart, and your ability to it. You know what I mean? And with that one, I just pretty much show them, like, how do I explain it? I pretty much show them that, you know, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel like you can't do this or do that, but at least give me a try, you know? That's my biggest thing of showing my students.
What got you started into wrestling? I don't know how accurate Cage Match is, but it says you started in 2020, and that would have been still in pandemic, and that time was obviously crazy for everybody. So what kind of pushed you towards wrestling during that time?
It was just one of those moments where I guess I could take it way back, because true story is I didn't actually started wrestling in 2020. It was actually either 2018 or 2019, but I was still in training at the time. What really led me into wrestling was, at the time I graduated 2016. Was looking for jobs, and those moments where it's like hard to keep a job, and then moments where you try your best to stay out of trouble and around the folks that you hang around with that gets you in trouble. I was just caught up in those situations at a moment, starting at a young age. But at the time, my older brother, he saw that I was getting into so much trouble, and to realize that he was also a professional wrestler. So at this moment in time, it was like I didn't want to go back to college. I was struggling to find a job. Parents almost pretty much gave up on me because they thought I was just doing nothing after I graduated. And it was just times like those where I was stressed and didn't know what the fuck to do. So he came along with me, and he asked, so, like, I'm giving you a hand, but I need you to do this for me. And I was like, what is it? He was like, I want you to try wrestling. You've been watching wrestling ever since you was a little boy. How about you give it a try? And so then I was like, okay. I thought about it at first. I was like, I don't know. But then again, I was just like, okay, I have nothing else to do with my life. It's like, I got to do something for me to achieve greatness, And as soon as I went there, I gave him the call, and I was like, yeah, I will give it a try. And to realize it's a really, really great athletic sport. Depends on how much you can make it. Like, because wrestling's got all different type of styles. What really made me love it. But when I first started going to the training school the first day, it was like they look at me like I've already done this before because I'm a super athlete. And before like I even like started wrestling, I grew up doing soccer and basketball. And I can say pretty much soccer was the reason why I had my speed up there. But I guess I could say if it wasn't for my brother, and of course my father and all my other people that are close to me, I would have not been a wrestler, honestly.
You just said that you watched a little bit of wrestling when you were younger. What's kind of like your earliest memories of professional wrestling, and who would you say is some of your inspirations now that you're in the wrestling game yourself?
I would say what truly inspired me was I would say when I first watched TNA, and I can say the match that really got me hyped was when I think it was Amazing Red, who had the X Division title, and he wrestled against the Notorious 187 Homicide. And like with those two guys, they pretty much inspired me. Not just because they're also Puerto Rican too. I've got that right with me. But yeah, it just shows that, like they inspire me to show that my peoples can win. Wherever we go, we can fucking win. And like we got that heart, that fight, and we just never be scared of any opportunity that goes our way. But even if we did, we gotta not show it.
You challenged for the X Division title against Mustafa Ali, correct? I'm not misremembering
Yes, sir,
that, right?
I did.
All right. So what was that match like, working with Ali and challenging for that title after you just mentioned kind of that was an inspiration to you?
I mean, it felt like a dream come true because like I said, I've been wrestling people that I've seen in TV now, and it's like for me to actually feel like I'm pitching myself and being like, holy shit, I'm wrestling Mustafa Ali. It was a great match. Really, really great guy. Honestly, I've learned so much from him. It's to a point that it helped me become a better wrestler afterwards. But the chemistry that we had was great. The moments that we had were great. And what really popped me the most is when I didn't expect them to do a promo on me after the match, and it just had me like speechless in tears because it was like I felt like personally when I felt like this when you're wrestling one of these big superstars and then they cut a promo after you about it saying that I'm the future or I'm the present, this and that. It just shows that I'm doing my job right, honestly.
So who are you kind of, now that you're officially a part of the MLW roster, who would you like to step in the ring with, or who do you think is kind of on your list to face as far as like bucket list people that you've always wanted to face that's a part of MLW right now?
I would say I would definitely would wrestle Quan for sure. The young goat, Myron Reed, of course, if he ever comes back. That's my number one hit list is Myron Reed. And pretty much all the middleweight division that they got so far. Especially what's his name? He's a luchador. I forgot his name though. But you know, like we're doing this deal with Mexico and kind of Japan now too. So it's like I'm willing to travel around the world. I got my passport, so yeah, anybody can get it. Honestly, anybody can get it.
I have to ask about this sign behind you. How far from North Carolina did you drive to see Bianca Belair?
Oh, it's a drive though, because like she was in New York or she was in Florida.
I don't know. The sign is behind you. It's
Yeah.
under. It's there. You go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
That's right there. That's right there. She's a big Bianca fan, but I was like, oh yeah, I believe she drove like I would say 10 hours just to see her.
Oh, I figured it wasn't your sign. I figured it was somebody who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, where did this come from? I was like, oh, okay. I forgot to take those down.
I respect the commitment. 10 hours to see Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
That's a haul there.
Hey, she's a big Bianca fan, honestly. Like all this, she did all this herself, and like she's working on like selling like pictures of Bianca's. Like she does like one of those sketch things.
Nice.
Love that. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, I was gonna say, sticking on North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. I moved to Ohio. Don't judge me on that, but North Carolina, Bojangles or Cookout. Only pick one.
Oh. You see, I was saying one thing. Bojangles do got some good ass chicken though. Coming from half Puerto Rican, like they got some good ass chicken. But Cookout, I feel like those are one of like those late night meals. If like anything else is closed and all that. But like, damn, why you had to do that to me? I would say
Only the tough questions here. Only the tough questions.
I would say Cookout, honestly.
More variety on Cookout. More variety,
Yeah, more variety of Cookout.
Yeah.
Because they open like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like you can get it and then just go. With Bojangles, like only thing I can say with Bojangles is I wish they were just a little faster. Honestly, that's my only thing. Because like you get it to go, and then you are ready to go, and then you got to sit there and wait like 5 to 7 minutes for your food. But I get it; they cook it fresh, but y'all can go a little faster. You know what I'm saying?
So we are in the weeds. So we talk mostly about wrestling, but you said kind of like the Pee Wee Herman secret word when you said your athletic background includes basketball. So what position did you play when you played basketball, and how much do you follow the game today, whether it be college basketball, NBA? Who's your teams?
Shoot, because I haven't watched basketball in like years now. But yeah, I started off when I was doing basketball. I was like 10 or 12 at that point. I was shooting guard, so I was like their 3-point shooter. And at the time I was short, but I was thinking to myself that I could actually dunk. But instead of being trying to dunk, I just do like a little fancy layup with it. But yeah. But but what made me like get better at basketball was when I was watching Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, like Carmelo Anthony. Like I was working on handles. Like I would even do like this trick where it's just like I bounce the ball on one hand, then switch it, bounce to the other one. It was like to a point where my coach, he was to have these cones to where we have to dribble all around. But it was like we didn't have to go straight. It was like, okay, if a cone's right here and the cone's right there, you got to go freaking around like that.
Yeah.
But if someone fucks up and goes up straight, he'll make us legit do 20 laps around these damn stages. And I was like, brother, you killing me here. But yeah, if I'd have said what favorite team that I got right now, it'll probably be Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Because like I love shooters. I love the 3-point shooters. Shout out to Steph. You know what I mean?
Nice.
You mentioned some of the people you might want to wrestle in MLW. Overall goals in MLW and moving forward, maybe even bigger picture in the world of wrestling.
You know, my goal is to pretty much make history there at MLW. Like I say, just not wrestle, not just saying like wrestling the MLW legends or like top stars there, but also becoming like champion, or try to be the longest reigning champion. That's the case, probably be double champion there, you know, do the impossible over there. I could be the heavyweight champion and then go for the middleweight champion, or be the middleweight champion and boost myself up to go to the heavyweight champion. That's my achieved goal right there, to make history on every billboard that MLW can put on. Rather be something old, rather it be something new. I want to go for it, and I want Diego Hill's name on that shit.
Nice. So you got to wrestle, like we said before, against Kushida, and that was in New York City in Melrose Ballroom, which is a great place for pro wrestling in the New York City area. I'm from New York myself, but like MLW has had, you know, shows in Arena Mexico and places like that. Is there anywhere on your kind of bucket list you would like to wrestle in?
I would always, you know, I've been wrestling pretty much a good, decent places now. You know, I've been to Mexico, Puerto Rico, California, New York, Jersey, of course, the Carolinas. You know, I always wanted to wrestle in Michigan, Detroit, to see how that is. Got fed from there, you know. The energy right there is always hype over there. So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go to Michigan one time. I would love to wrestle in Michigan one time.
We play a game on the show, Diego. It's called Partner, Promo, Punch in the Face. I'm going to give you 3 names. You pick one to partner against, or one to partner with, one to promo against, and one to punch in the face, which essentially have a match against. All right?
Okay.
All right. 3 names I'm going to give you: Cedric Alexander, AJ Styles, and Amazing Red.
Okay. Oh, damn. So I would definitely partner with Amazing Red. And what was the other 2?
AJ Styles and Cedric Alexander.
Okay, and what I got to do with those 2? It was
promo one. Promo
okay.
against one, punch one in the face.
I would say do a promo with AJ. And then, sorry, Cedric, I still love you. Just because you chopped the shit out of me the other day, punch you in the face.
Diego, we appreciate you joining us here. Let everybody know where they can find you at and anything you got upcoming.
Okay. This upcoming weekend, I will be in Slanington, Pennsylvania, at a show called PPW. Doors are open at 6. You feel free to come out there and see me wrestle, see my style. And then the day after that, I will be in New Jersey for ETU. That's when me and my good old brother in crime, Bojack, are back teaming again. And for y'all to find me on Twitter, or what they call it now, X. I don't know why. But the app's going to change again the next month, I guarantee. But anyways, on Twitter, you can follow me at I'm Diego Hill. Instagram, same thing, at I'm Diego Hill. If you want to see matches of me, of course, I have it on YouTube. And I've also got my little website. That'll be on the link in the bio right there. If y'all need shirts, bandanas, hats, or whatever. Oh, yeah, I just started making hats. Hats, snapbacks. Nice. I wouldn't say hats. Snapbacks is the new generation now, I can say. Yeah. But dang, if y'all want hats, I got that too. But I prefer snapbacks. But yeah, that'll be all my social medias. And I also do a weekly gaming streaming on YouTube and TikTok. If y'all can follow me on that at I'm Diego Hill My TikTok is actually at Diego. So if you just type in the at and then Diego, it should be up there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate y'all's support. Appreciate y'all for still rocking with me. Appreciate y'all for believing in me that I can make it this far. And, you know, thanks to all my fans. I love y'all.
Oh, real quickly, before I let you go, what games are you playing?
I play Splitgate 2, WWE 2K25. Just downloaded Basketball 2K yesterday. And I think it was like a week ago, I gave the AEW game a try. It was actually pretty good. It was better than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Nice.
Diego, again, we appreciate you joining us. Good luck with everything in the future. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, good luck with everything. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thanks, Diego.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thanks, man.
Take care, man.
Diego Hill. Diego Hill, newest MLW star, just signed at MLW Summer of the Beast after his match against Kushida. We appreciate MLW. We appreciate Diego Hill for joining us here today. All right, SP3. Nice. All right. We were talking a little bit about it. We're talking about Evolution and how the build has been what it's been. The best built thing has been Becky, Lyra, and Bayley.
Yes.
Any chance this match main events?
No.
What's gonna main event? I legitimately don't.
It's Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky.
Rhea and Io.
I thought the best two things that they did to build any of the shows, they did three really good things to build shows for the weekend. And I would say, you know, one was the Becky, Bayley, and Lyra promo. I thought that was really well done. You know, Lyra hasn't come off like the pure babyface that they wanted her to come off as, in my opinion. But I thought Bayley came off excellent in that promo. Becky Lynch is one of the best on the mic, so that was really well done. I thought the Goldberg Gunther whole segment that came off really well and got the most out of the crowd despite little to no effort from Goldberg's part, who was winded after throwing a punch. And I thought that the Io Sky Rhea Ripley video package, chef's kiss. That was great because WWE knows how to do the Jedi mind trick of make you believe that this rivalry has been going on way longer than they've really done it. Like they did that with the whole Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, which really kind of reignited their feud like a couple of weeks before Night of Champions. But when you watch Night of Champions, if you're only watching Night of Champions, you would believe that Rhea Ripley and Raquel have been feuding nonstop since NXT. And that there haven't been any breaks with the video package and how they put that together. Last night on Monday Night Raw, they did it yet again by showing us highlights of the Mae Young Classic between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley when Io beat her. Showing us highlights from 2020 when they faced for the NXT Championship and Io beating her there. Showed us the highlights from March when Io beat her for the WWE Women's World Championship. WrestleMania, in that classic match with Bianca Belair, and she beat her there. And they showed the clips of your favorite thing in the world, Jeremy. Look at the title from the tag team matchup with Julia and Roxanne, and they made it seem like they hadn't took like 2-month break from that rivalry, that they just been feuding nonstop since March at least, and they had all the previous background matches to add to it as well. But they have been feuding other than a 2-month break since March. This has been the main rivalry for the WWE Women's World Championship, is one of the 2 world titles that are on the line on Sunday. So I think that Io and Rhea are going to headline the show, especially with the whole story being that Rhea Ripley's never beaten Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley is the face of the current WWE Women's Division. I envision that she's going to win back the title on Sunday, and you want to put that on the biggest stage possible. That's probably going to be the headliner. Am I saying that Becky and Bayley and Lyra don't deserve to main event? No, I'm not saying that. 100%. They've had the best build and the best story going into Sunday, and they have earned the right to main event. But if you're asking me who do I think is going to main event, it's Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and I thought the video package was a great piece of business to convince me of that.
I think it'll be Io and Rhea as well. I think it should be Bayley, Becky, and Lyra. I'm not that interested in this Rhea and Io match.
I'm only interested in it because I know it's going to be great.
I know it's going to be great.
They always have good to great matches together, so I'm sure it's going to be great because it's not going to involve Bianca Belair, a special guest referee like I got in London. So it's going to be a great matchup when it's just those two going all out, and especially given the main event spot, I think that it's going to deliver in the main event spot. And we won't be there might be some people who still say, Becky and Bayley and Lyra should have main event, and they have all the chance, those three ladies, to steal the show and be the best match on the night. But I don't think that anybody's going to say Io and Rhea did not have a main event quality matchup, because I have all the belief in Io Sky, especially being the best wrestler period in the company. I think she's going to deliver in this spot.
I think it's going to be great as well. It's hard pressed for Io Sky to have a bad match, and Rhea Ripley against each other. I'm not feeling the build of this whole thing. I'm not feeling that we've seen this match multiple times this year, some iteration of this match multiple times this year. It's not a match that really excites me because we have seen it multiple times this year. If it was, all right, we haven't seen this for years, okay, cool. Like I'm for this, but I just saw this in January, February. My memory's not good.
It was March.
But at least then twice, right?
Yeah, twice in March on Raw. There was the March 3rd episode, and then the March 31st episode. And then Mania was the 3. But that you're saying the alternative is Becky Lynch, who's faced Lyra Valkyria twice before here, and she just faced Bayley 2 weeks ago.
At least this is the first version of the triple threat match. This isn't the first version of a singles match between them. It's the third one. Third one this year. It's the third one in 4 months. Like, at least this is the first version.
No, this is the third one in 2 months.
That's worse.
Well, no. You're talking about Io and Rhea. I'm talking about Becky and Lyra. This is the third time they're facing in 2 months.
Yeah, but at least the triple threat match.
She's facing Bayley. I don't know. I don't know how. We shall see. We shall see. I think both matches are the matches that are selling the show, because we know for sure that's going to be the matches that deliver in the ring. I think Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus is like the third biggest match on the show, but that's because of the name value. We don't know if, Tiffany has gotten big opportunities. She had a chance to have a big time matchup with Charlotte Flair, and that did not come off so well. I know you liked it, but a lot of us did not. Or a lot of us are trying to forget that it ever happened. That's me. But like, she against Trish Stratus, who's probably a little bit rusty, has only had a tag team matchup this year and hasn't had a major singles match since September of 2023. There's always a chance. I think there's only so many times someone who's not actively wrestling can come back and deliver a great matchup. I know she's done it in the past with Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam 2019. That steel cage matchup against Becky in 2023 was excellent, but that was 2023. It's 2025. She's been wrestling for 25 years. We'll see. We'll see what happens in that matchup. But the two matches I know are going to deliver in the ring is Becky, Bayley, and Lyra, and Io and Rhea.
That was 2023 and 2019. That was also against, I know people want to downplay Charlotte Flair, but let's not downplay Charlotte Flair in 2019. And It was also against Becky Lynch, who we should never downplay.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Who once again got the cheap pop from me. Thanks, Becky.
Tiffany Stratton is not 2019 Charlotte Flair or 2023 Becky Lynch. Any version of Becky Lynch, really. Tiffany Stratton is not that. Tiffany Stratton has been in good matches where she has been the secondary player for the most part. Or the last woman standing match against Nia was good, but that was
I actually prefer the previous matchup, the match where Nia got busted open. That was better than the last woman standing match.
All right.
That last woman standing match was fun. It was a fun mess. I wouldn't call it a good match. The good match was the one before that, where Nia got busted open and was a mess of a face by the end. But that was a good match.
I mean, I don't like any last man or woman standing matches. I think it's a dumb gimmick, and I think it's a detriment to the performers. I thought they did their best with it, you know. But yeah, we'll see. We will see with the Tiffany and Trish. I don't have super high hopes for that match, honestly.
I don't either. I'll be completely honest with you there. What did you think about the Becky, Bayley, and Lyra promo? I thought Bayley came off the best.
Yeah.
Bayley really get into the crust of why she's like annoyed with Lyra and why she didn't answer her text saying that she had to watch her team up with Becky and become a double champion. She watched her become the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. She watched her on the apron during that gauntlet matchup and then making it to WrestleMania, and then watch her beat Becky, all for her to just see her lose to Becky and then raise her hand like a little bitch. I was like, go ahead, Bayley. Go ahead. Yes.
Now, I liked the promo between them. Lyra standing tall means she's not winning on Sunday. I think Becky likely retains. I could see Bayley getting it. My guess is Becky retains, but Bayley wouldn't surprise me if she got it.
I think Becky retains, and I love Becky wearing the jacket with the Palestine flag colors. Becky always knows how to make a statement with her fashion choices, and she did it again last night. And I just love her. She's just like such a great heel. That's what makes me so frustrated with Seth Rollins. Yes, it's a Tuesday, so I'm gonna rant about Seth Rollins. How do you live in the house with one of the greatest female promos? Like I said to Jimmy last night, I was like, there's Becky Lynch, Timeless Toni Storm, a big gap. Then it's Cherry, Trish, AJ Lee, and then an even bigger gap, and then everybody else. Those are the best female promos I've ever heard in my lifetime. Becky and Toni Storm are like S tier female promos, and everybody else is like A tier and below. Becky is so good as a heel. Like it took us a while to realize that in the 2021 turn, because nobody wanted her to turn in 2021 when she came back from giving birth to her first child. But like, she has really hit her stride as a heel. She's found her voice. She knows how to get heat. She knows how to put over the baby faces and make them look good in the lead up to these matches. And she's just so good at, even in this situation where she was kind of like the instigator of causing Bayley and Lyra to get at each other. She's so good. The GOAT for a damn reason.
The backstage segment where she's talking to New Day. It's like, liked you guys getting rid of Big E. Never cared.
Never liked him.
I was like, oh, Becky and Big E are like best friends.
Yes. She said that, and she was probably laughing on the inside. Like,
yeah, I did like that segment as well. Oh, Becky's good. Becky's really good. That's why she should probably keep holding the title, and that's why she should main event SP3, not Rhea and Io again.
When have they main evented?
They main evented when Bianca was a special guest ref, right?
That was Monday Night Raw.
So it was a main event, was it not?
That's not a PLE. There's a difference. The only time Rhea and Io have main evented together against one another was In Your House 2020 against Charlotte Flair in a triple threat. In front of nobody in the PC.
That ruled. Charlotte's NXT run was hilarious. That was so good.
I just
Charlotte's-
realized that it's basically the same finish from WrestleMania. That finish to that matchup, where instead of Bianca hitting KOD and going for the cover, and then Io hits the over the moonsault, it's Charlotte in the figure 8 on Rhea, and then Io hits the over the moonsault to get the pin.
Triple H being like, Charlotte's gonna come down here and she's gonna put over the new talent. It's gonna be great, and you know, we love having Charlotte here. And then Charlotte just lost to nobody. Ruled. Real queen shit right there from Charlotte.
Queen, bow down to the queens. I'm down. Never now. Get the Stephanie McMahon theme song.
That's Stephanie's entrance. Goldberg came out in his muscle car. He huffed and puffed his way to the ring. He punched Gunther, and he was going to hit a spear. Gunther should have let him hit the spear. He had the title on still. Goldberg would have knocked himself out probably.
Yeah, I was like, let him spear you. You ain't taking off this title. I was like, if you take off the title, I know you're taking the spear. When he didn't take off the title, I was like, he's not taking the spear.
Yeah. Did not get the spear. Gunther rolled out of the way. Goldberg and Gunther on Saturday. The greatest match of all time is going to happen on Saturday. Goldberg and Gunther. Over under 5.5 minutes for this match.
Over. Because the whole promo that Gunther cut last week was how he said he was not going to make it quick. He said he was going to gas him out. He was going to expose him. So I'm going over. I think it goes 7 to 8 minutes.
7 to 8 minutes.
7 to 8 minutes.
Ooh. That could be rough. That could be a rough one.
It could. It could.
7-0.
But man, they made the most of that. That crowd in Providence, that's one of the best crowds of the year so far for a Monday Night Raw. They were
chanting,
awesome.
holy shit, just
holy shit for
them
Goldberg just
there.
trash talking him. He shows up in the car, big pop. He gets out of the car, marches to the ring, big pop. Goldberg comes out, huge pop. Then he goes into the ring. He smacks the mic out of his hand. Even bigger pop. Holy shit. Then he punches him. Big pop again. And then he goes for the spear. They popped for everything. Like, Goldberg and LA Knight were the two that got the loudest pops, the loudest reactions of the night. They loved those guys in Providence. That was great. It was the strongest segment that they've had to build up this match on Saturday that really has nothing going into it. Like, I don't think like a lot of people are anticipating this as it should be, as, you know, a legend retiring. I thought that it would have more hype going in, but a lot of that is down to WWE oversaturating this weekend with shows. And I think that if it was just a 2-show weekend, I think there would be more focus on Goldberg's retirement match than it is going into Saturday. But last night was awesome.
it doesn't feel like it's Goldberg's retirement match.
It doesn't at all.
Like, they've tried with like some of the video packages. That sit down with Michael Cole that was allegedly 20 minutes and they aired about 30 seconds of it. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is Goldberg's last match. Maybe because he didn't show up to Pittsburgh last week. Yeah. And so like they skipped a week of his whole retirement tour. It's not even a tour, it's one match. I hope they do something on SmackDown. And I don't know, I know this is a Raw feud, but it feels like you got to do something on SmackDown to give this a little bit more. Just do a video package. Have people talk about what a dominant force Goldberg is and was. You know, just hype it up a little bit. You got plenty of clips on Goldberg. You got his whole career. You not only have his whole career, you got clips from the DVDs you did previously. You know, I'm sure, I don't know if they can get new footage of people talking, if that's something. But you got old DVD footage that you can use with clips.
They got the Monday Night Wars episode of Goldberg that
Right.
they could play. You know,
They got clips of. I don't know how much they want to use Sting. I don't know how much they want to use Hogan. I don't know how much they want to use like Nash and people, but they have them talking about Goldberg. Use those clips. Do a video package and show what a dominant force he was and what a legend that he was, to add something to it. And then it should end with Gunther cutting that off and being like, who gives a fuck about Goldberg? This is 2025 and the Ring General is going to put this man down. That's how the video package should end.
fair. I would like that. Yeah, like I thought this would have a lot more hype into it, but it really doesn't feel as hot as it should be for his retirement matchup. I mean, last night was a hot crowd. Don't get me wrong, but damn, it's like there should be more. Goldberg is such an important figure of the late 90s and into the early 2000s that I thought that there would be more hype going into this. And he's facing one of the best of this current generation. He's not like he's facing, someone that you're like, oh, I expect that this is going to be an awful match. I think part of the intrigue of this matchup is that we really don't know. There's a lot of us that believe that it's going to be bad because Goldberg's involved and it's Goldberg in 2025. A lot of us have faith in Gunther to get something out of Goldberg that we haven't seen before and let him go out on a good matchup. So we shall see. We shall see. I wish that it had more hype heading into Saturday, because I was a huge fan of Goldberg in 1998. 1998 was peak Goldberg, and I was a wrestling fan at that time, and I lived through the height of his career.
I have Goldberg's autograph somewhere. He signed a
Really
for me. Yeah, signed one of those kind of bigger figures. Signed the back of it. It was at a golf event. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Anyway.
See, you met Goldberg. You guys were acting on Friday like you haven't met anybody.
Yeah, I've met a lot of wrestlers. It's just the wrestlers. It's just like, all right, cool. We've talked to a lot of wrestlers.
I met Chris Jericho at a WWE The Music Volume 4 signing.
Oh, I got a much better Jericho story. No offense. I shared an elevator with Jericho at.
Oh well, I mean, if you're talking about older me, yeah, I met Chris Jericho at a hotel bar after Full Gear 2021. And he was very nice to this Indian gentleman who was a fan, who came up to him while he was talking to a couple of his different friends, and Marco Stunt was there. I remember him. Cassidy Haynes was there, and he came up to him and he was like very nervously, very fan-like, waiting around for Jericho to stop talking, and asked him for to just meet him and stuff. And Jericho was really nice to him. He even told him oh, take out your phone, let's take a selfie together and stuff like that. So
he's a very nice guy. He was in the elevator and he's a nice guy. We were going to hang out with Luther. I didn't say that. Be like, hey, we know Luther. I got Jericho's autograph too. Not in the elevator. I wasn't, marking out of, oh my God, Chris Jericho elevator, please sign something. It was much younger. It was 2006, 2005. After a WWE event. I got the Chris Jericho hockey jersey, the Y2J hockey jersey, and he signed autographs after the show, and he signed my Y2J hockey jersey. I have that somewhere. That's probably downstairs in the basement somewhere. So yeah, I got Jericho's autograph on that jersey. Jericho had cool merchandise because he did hockey stuff, and so he always had good merchandise. Anyway, Goldberg's retiring.
One of his greatest rivals. Here's a good one. Name your top 5 favorite Goldberg rivals.
Rivals? I think it's Goldberg didn't have a ton of rivals. He just beat dudes.
That's what makes it a good question. That's what makes it a good question. You really have to think about it. And I would say number one, it's Brock Lesnar. It's that comeback in 2016. That's his best rivalry. That's his best rivalry if you really think about it. And it's the fact that no one expected the Survivor Series matchup and how it went down with him beating him in less than 2 minutes. And then the WrestleMania match is one of the greatest less than 5 minute matches in WWE history. It was so well done.
All right, Brock makes sense. Yes, I'm fine with that one. I'd say the NWO as a whole.
But he never got the comeuppance on the NWO. I feel like he did, but I don't remember
Hogan
it. Well, he beat Hogan in 1998. The real feud, I felt like, with the NWO really started in like
after the
was the Finger Poke of Doom. Yeah.
Like that's fair. But I'm talking about the NWO, even the early or mid stuff, like when he beat.
No,
Hall,
you are right. Yeah, because he beat Hall, he beat Kurt Hennig when he was a part of the NWO. You're right.
He beat or Giant.
Yeah,
after he beat Hogan. Yeah, so like including that. Yeah, then going into the taser, finger poke, and all that kind of stuff.
So NWO. Bret Hart has to be on the list because of the real life rivalry.
I don't think
DDP
wants to be on this list.
No, he doesn't. DDP.
I got you.
Because that's his best opponent.
Gold Dust wig.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Now, Evolution would be.
No,
right?
No, I have PTSD. You will not do this to me. I literally went on a whole
I'd say it was good, but like
I went on the whole rant on rest things because rest things. I'm with Nafi and all the fellas over there, and they're like, oh, we first started watching wrestling in the mid 2000s. We liked the Reign of Terror. Me and Sat are sitting there like, what is wrong with y'all? What?
My kind of people.
The Reign of Terror was awful.
My kind of people.
It's awful. It sucked. I hated every minute of it. He buried everybody in its way. Goldberg is not. We will not do that to Goldberg. We will not put Triple H or Evolution on the top 5. But I will put Chris Jericho on the top 5 because Jericho was awesome. Jericho got over by just trolling Goldberg in 1998.
I'm putting Evolution there.
The Sledgehammer. We'll put the Sledgehammer instead of Evolution.
Sid is the answer.
Goldberg!
That's it. You can't touch me, Goldberg.
Goldberg. That's a top 5 Goldberg moment. This doesn't involve. It doesn't even involve Goldberg. Why me? Why me? Goldberg.
Sid is the answer.
The a Rare Beast, the Jericho feud in WCW was before they had the real life scrap. That's part of the reason why they had the real life scrap when Goldberg came to WWE in 2003.
What else happened from Raw? The Seth Riders were all over this show. Sami Zayn got decimated. He's out indefinitely.
Partly because of the real most popular man in Providence, Karrion Kross.
Yeah. Jey Uso took multiple tsunami splashes. We'll see how long he's out. Seth beat Penta.
He only took 2. You gave Seth Rollins 6.
That's multiple.
But I'm just saying, he said he was gonna tsunami him into oblivion, and he only did 2. And it wasn't even the referees and security that stopped him. He just walked away.
Yeah, he was kind of cowardly, honestly.
Yeah, that was kind of. I was like, you literally gave 3 to LA Knight. He was back the next week. Jay walked out on his own regard. You didn't do your job, Bronson.
Do you think like the tsunami splashes have lost impact now that he's with this group, like somehow Seth has made his tsunami splashes lose impact because they had the power, the tsunami did. They were powerful when he did them to Seth, but now that he's aligned with Seth, it's like, oh, well, you took out this guy with a bunch of tsunami. Now you're aligned with him. These tsunamis don't mean as much. That's my theory.
I mean, that's not the worst theory. I'll give you that. It's not the worst theory.
It doesn't really make sense, but
no. But you didn't even talk about the best part of the Seth Riders. Braun Breaker saved us from a 20-minute Seth promo that would have said nothing.
How do you?
And
know?
I love the character work of Braun Breaker last night. He comes off as a very terrifying, insecure maniac. like that's what he comes. He's very erratic. That whole promo, he was so erratic where he's talking about, I hate Sammy. I hate the fact you guys sing his song. I hate the fact he doesn't go to the gym. I hate the fact he doesn't play sports. Like, he's like, how can you cheer him? He's not an athlete. I will rip him apart. I was like, I love this man. And the fact that they did the camera angle where you could see Seth being like, who the hell does he think he is? And Paul Heyman's like, I don't know. I loved it. I loved every moment of this. This was the best Seth Riders opening segment up until, I'll tell you when it got ruined. But then Seth was so bothered by the fact that the fans were like booing him, gives the mic to Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed cut a good promo on Jey Uso. Paul Heyman is always great, and him speaking in Spanish out of nowhere, and Seth on the sideline being like, when the hell did this guy learn Spanish? That was really good. The fact that Seth Rollins' best part of this whole segment was the stuff he said off the mic, because as soon as he gets the mic, welcome everyone to Monday Night Rollins, and they cheer. And I was like, thanks for ruining all the heat that we just got during this promo. Thanks, Seth. You're really helping your own group that doesn't have a name, and you're still getting cheered for your stupid song that everyone loves, and your stupid catchphrases that everyone loves. Why is he playing Timu Triple H that doesn't want to be booed? When Triple H himself in the mid-2000s was playing Timu, Ric Flair, and Harley Race. It's like a freaking trilogy. What are we doing? Why are you playing Timu versions of better heels?
Timu Triple H is the meanest thing you've ever said about somebody.
Like, why won't he take a class with his wife? Like, his wife can teach him how to be an effective heel. He's not effective on the mic as a character. He sucks as a top heel in this whole company. Oh.
You know what the best Braun Breaker part was? It wasn't even the in-ring promo. It was the stuff backstage with Penta, where he's like, what's he doing this for? Is he playing baseball? 3 strikes? This is all this.
3 strikes and you're out, 3 and out. What? I don't care about. No, even him backstage with Seth, and he's like, people gonna think that I didn't take him out myself. They think I was like, he is terrifying. He's so insecure that it's terrifying, yet it also is sympathetic at the same time. Like, he can be great as a babyface, as a heel. Braun Breaker is the single. I thought that it was Paul Heyman for a while, but Braun Breaker last night went freaking strides ahead of everybody else in this group, where it's obvious he's the one that's gonna be the breakout star. He was so good last night.
Yeah. They got to go with him sooner rather than later, honestly. They can't. They love to wait and to milk all this stuff and just tease and tease and tease and tease and tease Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They gotta go with this. They can't wait too much longer on Braun Breaker. He's too good right now. He's way too good.
Other part I loved about Braun last night was during the Sammy matchup where he turned into his uncle. He's like, he's a bomb! He's pathetic! He's a bomb! I was like, I love this guy! I love this guy! He's so good! He's so good! He was awesome! Best part of the show for me.
Yeah. Again, they got to go with him sooner rather than later, man. I don't think they can wait on him. The Heyman Braun Breaker alliance, when they eventually turn on Seth, is gonna be good. Because Braun Breaker will actually be a heel and not
exactly
sing my song and welcome to Monday Night Braun. Bark with me.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. It's like, Seth, just get booed. Just stop doing this stuff. Just be a heel. You even tease Roman Reigns coming back with Heyman's promo too, where he was like, "Oh, Roman's pathetic. He's scared to come back."
Roman's most likely coming back for SummerSlam, 2-night SummerSlam. Like he'll be back for that. Dude,
you think he comes back on Saturday?
Maybe. Honestly, maybe. Because they're in Atlanta. You get something going there. Maybe. Because what I was about to say is like that show's like 3 weeks away. SummerSlam.
Yeah.
They gotta do something pretty soon here with this card. Because they haven't done a whole lot. So yeah, I could see him coming back on Saturday. And after Seth beats LA Knight, they're all, about to take out LA Knight, and then here comes the tribal chief. That's how it goes. Goldberg should open, do his retirement match first. Roman just coming in there, but yeah, I'm closing this shit, buddy.
That's how you know. That's how you know Roman's coming back if Goldberg opens the show. You're gonna be like, oh, Roman's coming back tonight.
Care about your dumbass retirement match. This is my town now. You had your time 25 years ago. Ain't worried about your shit. This is my town, Atlanta, Georgia.
Or they do it as the opening to take all the news from AEW immediately after the show.
Oh, okay. All right, I like that theory. I'm for that. Yeah, Roman return gets all the headlines. I mean, Goldberg just,
and then he leaves. Then he's gonna leave. He's not gonna stay for the rest of the show. He could just go.
Yeah, he's done. He's done on that. Yeah. All right. I like that theory. I can get behind that. Anything else from Raw?
Really loved the main event. The main event was great. Penta versus Seth Rollins. I thought it was one of Penta's better matches, and I thought that was the best thing that Seth did on the show was the backstage segment, and this matchup was Seth actually working as a heel for the most part. Yeah, he did like a frog splash, but it was more like everything else. The psychology of the matchup was much more him as a heel. Great matchup. Love the finish with him doing the accidental low blow, and I love the fact that Braun, he dominated his matchup. He didn't really need the help from Karrion Kross, but he got it and he used it, and then he was upset about it, while Seth just blatantly cheats and he's happy about it. I love that dichotomy between those two, where they're sowing the seeds very well in regards to their eventual split from one another. And that LA Knight pop, my God.
Yeah.
I saw what you said. You can say what you said to the in the Wii chat, because it's absolutely right. That's the type of reaction he got.
It was a stone cold moment. I'm not comparing it to a Steve Austin pop. Way different. My comparison is run in, hit your finisher, get the big pop, get out on the guy. And his finisher, I know it's not a stunner, but it is a quick, cravat move before, karate impact move, and then get out. That's what it felt like. It felt like a Steve Austin moment when he came out and he gave Seth the BFT and then got out. He's going to lose on Saturday, though. That's the problem. He's going to lose on Saturday.
In a perfect world, it would be LA Knight versus Seth at SummerSlam. And he beats Seth at SummerSlam before Seth cashes in on the Cody and Cena matchup. Because I feel like he can gain a lot from just a victory over Seth Rollins. But he needs to be on Monday Night Raw at this point. It's quite obvious that he needs to be on Monday Night Raw.
Can they do a pop-up BFT?
I can see that.
Just completely rehash Mania. He loses via pop-up.
He lands.
And then he closes the show by cashing in. And then it sets up LA Knight and Seth Rollins as the first feud, with Rollins as the champion.
Could do that. That's a sign that they can go there. Like I said, Karrion Kross was over like Rover. The ad break promo. Oh my God, those loud ass "We Want Cross" chants, and then he just says, "Well, here I am," and that got even a bigger pop. That was amazing. I'm really loving how much the crowd has got behind Karrion Kross, even though it's kind of killing Sami Zayn as a babyface because he's facing Braun Breaker, who they're chanting one more time every time he gets speared, and then he's facing Karrion Kross. Ooh, they're chanting "We Want Cross." It's like, man, you're just trying to make me lose all hope of Sammy ever winning a world title at this point. Like, that's what you're really trying to make me feel like here. What else did I enjoy last night? Those were most of the things that I enjoyed last night. They announced the lineup for the 4-way WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup at Evolution. It's going to be Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez representing the Judgment Day, defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss from SmackDown. I love Michael Cole saying, and I quote, "We all know the other teams are Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Zoruka." I was like, dude, this is the first time y'all have announced that this is Zoruka representing
We
NXT.
all know.
I was like, how do we? I was like, no, we don't. I responded to my TV like it was a person. I was like, no, we don't. I was like, this is the first time hearing of. They literally lost last week. What are you talking about? They lost on NXT. I watched it. They lost to Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley.
It's not a big deal that they lost. Don't worry about it.
So they're representing NXT, and then Kairi Sane picked up a win over Roxanne Perez. Not really the best match. I thought it was probably the worst match on last night. Well, not really, because the Braun Sammy matchup was just an angle, but it wasn't the best matchup that I thought they could have delivered there. But Kairi picked up a win with a backslide, and then post match Raquel and Roxanne jumped her, and it led to Asuka making the stave. They hit their reverse DDT insane elbow combination on Roxanne, and then they talked to Adam Pearce backstage, who said that the Kabuki Warriors reunion would be the ones to represent Monday Night Raw, and it really feels like the Kabuki Warriors reunion is the replacement for a Bella Twins reunion.
I don't know.
You don't think Brie was ever going to be on this show?
No, because I think if she was, they would have just had her in this match.
No, I think they were probably in talks, and then the talks stalled when Liv got hurt.
As much as I thought initially it was going to be Raquel and Liv against the Bella Twins, now I'm believing that it was just going to be Liv against Nikki. I think it was going to be a singles match, because I think if it was going to be a tag match, they would have just had Nikki and Brie still in this match. I think Nikki was going to have just a singles match against Liv. That's obviously not happening, and that's why Nikki's just in the Battle Royal, unfortunately, because they didn't have any other option for her. Which, terrible job pivoting, by the way. You have Nikki Bella, and your big idea is put her in the Battle Royal because Liv got hurt. You couldn't come up with anything else. You couldn't do a singles match against Chelsea Green.
Nope.
Like, that's right there. A match against Chelsea Green.
And that's what makes it, like, I feel like if the idea was Liv versus Nikki straight up, they would have just replaced somebody for Liv. I think the idea was always to do a women's tag team title match.
I think you're giving them too much credit for just, we can replace Liv in a singles match.
Maybe
because I think they would have done that if that was the case. But I don't think that was the case. I think it was going to be... I think it was going to be Nikki and Liv. And once that fell through, they didn't have an idea for Nikki. They had no other... They were just like, oh, this was our idea. What are we going to do now? Well, there's a Battle Royal. Okay, Nikki's there. It feels like it would have been easier if the original idea was Nikki and Brie for the tag titles to just still put them in this 4-way match. Because if that's the case, then you're fucking over Brie. Because what's Brie doing now? If the original plan was for her to come in and team with Nikki, and now you're not doing that, is she just going to be in the Battle Royal as well? That's why I don't think they're not above being like, oh, well, that match fell through. Now we're just not going to use you at all.
Yeah.
But they're not above that.
That's what I think. I think they were in talks with her, because I don't think TMZ would have reported that unless they had it on good authority, meaning from the Bella army, the Bella team.
Brie was the one who kept saying of like, I haven't been called. They haven't called me.
Yeah, because the talk stalled, so she wanted to get ahead of it and say that, oh, they haven't called me. I don't believe they haven't called her. I think they were in talks with her and wanted to bring her in until the live match fell through.
All right. Maybe we'll find out what's true and what's not true one day. I mean, look, the Bellas have a podcast. The Bellas ain't afraid to speak on their podcast. They even said on the most recent episode with Alexa, they mentioned at the end of it, they said we'll have Evolution to talk about. So I imagine we'll get the Evolution Fallout podcast from the Bellas next week, and they ain't protecting kayfabe. I don't care.
No.
The Bellas will say what actually went down, what the original plans were, and what happened and why it didn't happen. So we'll get to the bottom of this next week on the Bellas podcast.
Yes, and we'll talk about it here on In the Weeds. But I think that was, for the most part, everything from Monday Night Raw, unless you want to talk about El Grande Americano with the mask that doesn't fit him at all. So,
yeah, he's still
Dragon Lee was cool.
Giant ass loser, Dragon Lee. Yeah,
he always loses. If he's on TV, it's probably to take an L. Couldn't even win at Worlds Collide.
No, he's a giant loser. He should team with Daniel Garcia.
That's foul. Daniel Garcia delivered in that matchup with Kyle Fletcher on Collision. No, he didn't win.
Did he win?
But that was a great matchup. But man, no one's talking about that. Everybody's still talking about FTR and the Outrunners with one of the best tag team matches of the year so far.
Yeah.
FTR may be top 3 all time and not 3. Like they delivered a excellent matchup with the Outrunners. I think that's one of the biggest accomplishments of their career.
It was a great match. What's FTR doing at all in? Chilling?
I've been saying it for weeks. I'm still, especially after that matchup, I'm still on it. Cope and the Outrunners versus FTR and Stokely.
I could see it. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that, of that being a possibility. They kind of do like an open challenge thing. And here comes the Outrunners, and here comes a returning Cope. Stokely should pin Cope. That's my finish for the match. My hair is having a tough time today.
I see. You had the cow lick for a little bit there.
New Japan. You want to talk about New Japan? You want to bury Gato?
I just don't understand, Jeremy. Why does he keep doing this? How many times has he had the opportunity to put over one of these young guys? Shota Umino had plenty of chances, whether it be against Will Ospreay at Power Struggle 2023, whether it be against Evil when he could have won the Never Openweight Championship at New Beginning in 2024, whether it be him and Ren Narita winning the tag league and becoming IWGP Tag Team Champions back in 2023 instead of Ren Narita joining the House of Torture, whether it be Ren Narita versus Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Kingdom in 2023 when he could have become the first ever NJPW World Television Champion, and you could have saved him from a lifetime of smoking cigarettes at the back of a Rite Aid with the rest of the House of Torture. Couldn't do that. Yota Tsuji comes back with one of the greatest returns from Excursion since Okada and could have had a sequel to the Rainmaker Shock by having him come in and defeat Sonata at Dominion 2023. Just let that pass by, let Sonata win and continue his boring ass run. It's like, how many times is he going to do this? And this last month of New Japan Pro Wrestling might be one of his worst booking months ever. And yes, I'm putting that on higher on the level than last year, which wasn't a good first 2 quarters of the year for New Japan Pro Wrestling, coming off the heels of Okada leaving the promotion. But I think that his booking in the month of June and early part of July have been even worse than that. Whether it be Dominion being completely ruined and oversaturated by House of Torture nonsense, and some of the matches not delivering on the level that they could have, whether it be the decision to have Hiroki Goto lose the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship to Zack Sabre Jr. instead of to the Next Generation. And then this past Sunday, a really damn good show, the finale of the Soul Tour, headlined by an excellent matchup between Kosei Fujita, the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors, versus El Desperado, who's having one of the best years of anybody in New Japan and in the pro wrestling world. And instead of crowning Fujita, who's facing a Desperado who just came off of a Death Pain Invitational where he went through glass and barbed wire and battled Jun Kasai to a bloody brawl, bloody mess at the end of that matchup. All this emotion involved in that. You would think that this is a come down for him, and that Fujita should take advantage of that, become one of the youngest, the second youngest IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion of all time. No, he has him submit in this matchup and lose. Once again, the young guys are passed over. It's becoming ridiculous at this point. It's like, will it ever be time for these new guys to get their shine, to get the big win? You're basically going to be booking these guys into oblivion. You've already done that with Shota Umino. Shota Umino's a geek. He's a geek because of how many times you've jobbed him out. Wrestle Kingdom this year, the New Japan Cup final, everything that happened in 2024, everything that happened in 2023. Yota Tsuji, at least he won the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, and that's why he's our last hope heading into this G1. If you want a new guy to win, it's him or Yuya Uemura, but Yuya Uemura just lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi with one knee at Dominion. This is getting ridiculous. I'm as a New Japan fan, I'm starting to lose hope, Gato. So you have there is no other solution. There's no other outcome than have Tsuji or Uemura win the G1 at this point. If time's up. Like, we're putting you on the clock. You're on the clock, Gato. We want your job. We want your keys to the building. You're not even going to get your last check in hand. You're going to get it in the mail. Your job is on the line. Tsuji or Uemura wins the G1, or that's it. But great match with Desperado and Fujita. I'm just really frustrated with the fact that this man keeps trying to ruin my beautiful New Japan.
I wasn't stunned that Fujita lost. I was kind of expecting it. I was just disappointed when I saw it. I was like, what? Really? Really? Okay. I get it. I don't get it, but I get it.
You get it because it's Gato.
Yeah.
You get it. That's the only reason you said I get it.
Yeah.
Because it's Gato. It's Gato. We expect him to
but
mess up. Like
it didn't surprise me, but I was like, oh, that's a disappointing one right there. That's a disappointing one right there.
Because when is he ever going to be at this height? Coming off of winning the Best of Super Juniors. And for all of this, why did you delay it? Why didn't you put this match on Dominion? If he's going to lose, then put this match on Dominion and make one of your biggest shows of the year better. Like, it didn't make sense on so many different levels. I absolutely loved Tai Chi winning the gauntlet. Tai Chi should have been in this year's G1 straight up, because Tai Chi, if you've been watching New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's been one of the best singles performers. Anytime he's had a big match, he's delivered. It's been great. He's got the crowd behind him. And, you know, for a lot of us, I started really kind of following and watching New Japan Pro Wrestling actively in like 2013, 2014. And Tai Chi was a geek. Tai Chi was the geek who always sang, who came out with the pretty girl, and that was kind of his role. He was a geek in the junior heavyweight division. Then he moved up to the heavyweight division. He got his tag team with Zack Sabre Jr. that really started to turn around his reputation and how the fans view him. But now in 2025, he's one of the most popular singles performers. And him and Ishii, IWGP Tag Team Champions, going at it in the final match of that gauntlet. Oh my God. If this was a match by itself, it'd be a match of the year candidate. The fact that they had to do 2 matches before that with an older Kojima and then Chase Owens, that kind of made it just like a great, fantastic matchup, but not a match of the year candidate. But that final stretch is a must watch for anyone who didn't watch the show on Sunday. Just watch that final stretch between Ishii and Tai Chi in Kurgan Hall, with Kurgan Hall roaring. Tai Chi no-selling a power driver and just powering up and getting juiced up. Ishii stealing all of his moves, doing the last ride power bomb, and then doing the Black Mephisto, and then Tai Chi pulling it out in the end to win the gauntlet to go to the G1. This felt like a G1 final between those two guys. Absolutely stole the show. I loved it.
Anything else from New Japan or anywhere in the wrestling world?
Tiger Mask is retiring next year. If you know, Tiger Mask is one of the guys who really held down the junior heavyweight division in the dark ages in the 2000s. So looking forward to what they do to kind of celebrate Tiger Mask over the next year. I mean, House of Torture won in the other big match on Sunday, so I don't really want to talk about that. I think I've done enough whinging about Gato's awful booking. And I'm trying to think. I watched the GCW Top Play show. Oh my God. I haven't watched a lot of GCW, but that Jordan Oliver, Alec Price, and Marcus Mathers versus Billy Starks, Megan Bain, and Miyu Yamashita is one of the best GCW matches I've seen ever. Like, that was awesome. That was a straight up racist Reg special of Spot Fu. Just nonstop action, balls to the wall. The crowd was on fire. They were on their feet, just going crazy and stuff like that. Oh, I love that matchup. That match was incredible. One of my favorite matches that I've seen from GCW ever. Loved it.
There's a very good JCW show that's up on YouTube as well, Jersey Championship Wrestling, that aired on
I just
Sunday
started
night.
watching that.
Yeah. Everyone should go check that out as well. It's free. All right, folks. We're going to get out of here. Thank you to Diego Hill for joining us. We appreciate it. Appreciate MLW for setting that up. Tomorrow, scheduled for Blake Christian.
I'm happy for you.
I don't know how much he knows of like the fandom that like this show has for him, you know, me specifically, but like
how many times are you gonna play the bumper?
Oh, I'm gonna play it to bring him on. I'm gonna do like a big intro and I'm gonna be like he's and then Vanilla Baby. I'm gonna play it to bring him on. Yeah, 100%. Oh, we should run down the NXT card right fast.
Do we have to?
I mean,
okay. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Do we have to? Kale Dixon is in action. I know you're excited for that. Chase U. This Chase U reboot sucks.
If it ain't Uriah, aka Little David Finley, I don't. Who?
NXT Tag Team Title bout. Hank and Tank against the Culling. I know you're excited for that one. Come on now.
I hate the Culling. I hate the
you
Culling.
Love Hank and Tank, though.
Yes, I love Hank and Tank, but I hate the Culling. This is like, but I love Hank and Tank. Ironically, because I realized that they had that one great week this year where they won the gauntlet when I called them to win the gauntlet, and then had their best match with Fraxium. But the tag team division has suffered since Fraxium left his whole brand. So I wanted them to have a short run where they eventually lost to Dark State, but Dark State is now over in TNA, so now they're forced to have more matches with the culling.
Charlie Dempsey against Tavian Heights. If Tavian Heights wins, he's out of No Quarter Catch Crew.
What? So they're ending North Quarter Catch Crew basically?
Sure.
Because I never expect Charlie Dempsey to win a match. Like that's, I gave up on that hope. I love Charlie Dempsey, but he never wins when it matters.
Yeah. Ricky Saints against the Vanity Project in a gauntlet match. I know you're excited for this one. You can't tell me you're not excited for this one.
Bum, 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 bum. Yo, this is the whole show. I'm watching it. Let's go. Let's go. The Vanity Project gauntlet. It comes. We saw the debut in the C-suite 2 weeks ago when they beat Sean Legacy. Ricky Saints, we coming for you. But yes, I can't wait for the Vanity Project versus Ricky Saints. It's gonna be a good one. The Tennessee, we got my boy, the Heartbreak Drake, the WWE Evolve Men's Champion. He gonna deliver a classic tonight. Can't wait. I might show up tomorrow just to talk about that.
And then Ava is going to announce the Battle Royal participants for WWE Evolution. Get excited, everybody. Give me a surprise name in the Battle Royal.
Blake Monroe?
Is that a surprise name? She signed to the company. That's not really a surprise.
Oh, you know who? Bianca Jazz Belair, the WWE Evolve Women's Champion, WrestleMania headliner, future Callie Armstrong in the now it's gonna be the Evolve Battle Royal because I want Callie Armstrong in there. I want Kylie Ray. No, it's gonna be the C-Suite Battle Royal. We get Callie Armstrong, Kylie Ray, Zeta Steele, Tyra May Steele, let's go. Xena Sterling, let's go. P Nasty, and of course, everyone's favorite, the American Cream, Busty Rhodes, George BBW Bush, Thick Cheney herself, Nikita Lyons.
Nikki Bella's gonna just destroy all these women. These are the people you're throwing at Nikki Bella.
Imagine Nikki Bella putting up George BBW Bush into the the torture rack.
Nikki Bella's not screwing around with all that. Nikita Lyons is gonna do her 50 different taunts, and Nikki Bella's gonna forearm her in the face, be like, "Get the fuck out of here." Get out of here. All right, folks. There's your NXT preview. Okay, everyone. Okay. NXT. Enjoy the NXT. Yeah, they're going to put Stephanie Becker in this Battle Royal.
Can't imagine what Stephanie Becker is going to do when she's in front of Nikita Lyons. I don't know what's gonna happen to her.
Probably. Be like, ha ha ha. LOL. Joel and I will be back tomorrow, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. New episode of In the Weeds with quite possibly our most relevant guest of all time. Like,
maybe true.
In the history of In the Weeds lore, there hasn't been like a bigger guest than Blake Christian. Very on brand for this. I'm a little worried. Chat, I'm expecting y'all to be on your best behavior tomorrow for Blake Christian. I'm also expecting you to give him a giant superstar reaction as he deserves when he shows up. All right? We need everybody putting the vanilla babies in the chat, the vanilla ice cream cones in the chat. Just big pop as he deserves for Blake Christian tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, SP3. Thank you to Bryan Alvarez for sending in the greatest cameo of all time. Until next month when he has to do it all over again.
He's going to continue to top himself.
How long does it take him to like figure out what is like what's going on here? What is this?
Do
What
you
is
think
this
he'll
event?
remember? He'll remember
So that's the
that
thing.
it was in the
Yeah,
weeds?
that's the thing. I feel like by the third time he will be like, okay, I've done this before. This isn't new here. I've done this. Why does this show continue to ask me to do these cameos burying? Sometimes, you know what? Next time we're gonna get praise. We're gonna give Bryan praise.
Say something nice.
Yeah.
Say something nice.
Yeah. So sorry, Xeno Hour, that you got buried. The next winner of the XP1 will get praised from Bryan Alvarez. Compliments from Bryan Alvarez.
There you go.
We could probably get Bryan on this show easily. He seems like a good guy. I'm sure if I just messaged him and be like, hey. But like I want to see how long until the bit plays out before I actually do that. All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. SP3, let them know where you're at.
Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. My latest article is up on SI.com, where I went through the long history between Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega, the generational rivalry that changed pro wrestling. That is a piece that I've worked on for a while, so I would appreciate any and all support to that. That's my pin tweet on my Twitter page right now, so you can check it out there. And of course, I'll be live in about 30 or so minutes on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel for Rated Raw Review as we start our All in Texas week, where we'll be doing streams for the next 8 or so days. Got Rated Raw Review today. Tomorrow we got a Great American Bash, WWE Saturday Night's Main Event, and Evolution preview with Kate and Cresta the Star as special guest. We got Thursday AE Ramble with me and Jimmy. Friday we got an AEW All in Texas preview with Maggie of Fightful Overbooked herself, as well as Jay News. And then Saturday we got our flagship podcast. Plus we got watch-alongs for All In and Saturday Night's Main Event hosted by Romeo. And then Sunday we got All In Texas review. So come join us. Come join us. We're closing in on 24,000 subscribers, hoping to hit that this week as well. So I would appreciate any and all support from all the top weeds out there. So go smoke some weed and touch some weeds, as Bryan Alvarez would say.
And feed your cat.
Go to a farmer's market.
All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you as always, SP3. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Enjoy the wrestling or don't. I don't care. Bye, everybody.